Greetings, YouTube. This is another episode of TEW 2016 WWE Red vs. Blue, episode 16. And today we have Summerslam 2016, which is held in front of 19,000 people at the Barclays Center in the New York, New Jersey region. And we open the show. The pre-show is the tag team gauntlet for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The first match of the gauntlet in a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling but little heat. The Lucha Dragons defeated the Shining Stars in 907 when Kalisto defeated Primo by pinfall with a Salida del Sol. Primo had an in-ring performance of 54, Epico 55, Sin Cara 55, and Kalisto 59. No worker improvements. That match got a 60C rating. So the Lucha Dragons move on, and they will face Breezango up next, which in a match that had subpar wrestling and little heat, Breezango defeated Lucha Dragons in 918 when Fandango defeated Sin Cara by pinfall with a last dance. Sin Cara had an in-ring performance of 52, Kalisto 54, Fandango 47, and Tyler Breeze 53. No worker improvements, and that match got a 56C minus rating. And then Breezango moves on, and they face the Vaudevillains in a bout that had subpar wrestling and little heat. Breezango defeated the Vaudevillains in 732 when Tyler Breeze defeated Simon Gotch by pinfall with a beauty shot. Fandango had an in-ring performance of 51, Tyler Breeze 55, Simon Gotch 53, and Aiden English 49. No worker improvements, in that match got a 55C minus rating. And with that, Breezango wins the gauntlet match and are the new Raw Tag Team Champions. But wait, as Breezango celebrates, Christian comes out. And he's like, pardon my interruption, guys. I know you were only expecting, to face the Lucha Dragons, the Vaudevillains, and the Shining Stars in this gauntlet match. At the last moment, I have signed a new tag team to be exclusive on Monday Night Raw. And they are going to be the final team in this tag team gauntlet match. And Breezango is, rightfully shocked and, kind of pissed off because, they signed up to, face the 3 other teams, not 4 other teams. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the face turn of Breezango because, they did kind of get jobbed out with this. Cashed in by surprise. Both of it's complete success. No worker improvements for that segment, which got a 64C rating. And who is the tag team that Christian signed to Monday Night Raw? It's none other than Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, Red Dragon. They are the brand new tag team that Christian just signed. And they come out to a pretty big ovation because remember it is, in the Northeast, SummerSlam usually a smart heavy show. So, most of the people in the crowd will know who they are. Bobby Fish debuted his Wrestling Machine Cocky gimmick, which got an average rating. And Kyle O'Reilly debuted his Wrestling Machine Legitimate gimmick, and they got an initial rating of great. No worker improvements. This segment got a 40D minus rating. And we move on and a match that had subpar wrestling, little heat. Red Dragon defeated Breezango in 639 when Kyle O'Reilly defeated Fandango by pinfall with a Chasing the Dragon. Red Dragon win the Raw Tag Team titles. Fandango had an in-ring performance of 49, Tyler Breeze 54, Bobby Fish 31, and Kyle O'Reilly 45. So Breeze and Fandango obviously had great chemistry, but Red Dragon, they should have great chemistry because, they are a great tag team, but whoever made this mod did not give them a good chemistry, which, sidebar for this, when I first, downloaded this mod and I started playing around with it, I noticed a lot of teams, like the mod, I forget who the mod maker was for this, but whoever did this did not set the tag team chemistries for a lot of teams. And I noticed it, and I'm like, well, I wanted to, go back into the save file, into the mod file, and add the chemistries for a lot of teams. Like, I noticed the Revival, they didn't have any chemistry. I mean, they didn't have bad chemistry, but they should really have great chemistry. So I changed it. But I guess I missed Red Dragon, because if I would have known this ahead of time, I would have changed it. I would have set up for them to have great chemistry before I started the save. But a little bit too late now. I mean, at least they don't have bad chemistry, because that would, totally suck. But I guess no chemistry is better than bad chemistry, but still kind of a bummer, because they really should have good chemistry set up in the save. But be that as it may, they are the new Raw Tag Team Champions, and the match got a 51D plus rating. So we kick off the main show in general fashion. A lot of times in the past, the opening match is a lot of the times the Intercontinental Championship match, and in this time is no different, and a decent match. The Miz defeated Dolph Ziggler and Chris Jericho in 1931, when The Miz defeated Chris Jericho by pinfall with a skull-crushing finale. The Miz makes defense number 3 of the WWE Intercontinental title. So, the way I have it envisioned in my head is a little bit different. Ziggler gets the zigzag on Jericho, and in true sneaky heel-like fashion, The Miz dumps Ziggler out of the ring and then steals the pinfall on Jericho. Ziggler had an angry performance of 66, Jericho 74, The Miz 64. No worker improvements. The match got a 72 B- rating, so a good way to start the main show. And then we get after the match, The Miz is taunting Ziggler from the stage, and Ziggler is sitting at ringside at the ringside area, just like dejected because he lost his opportunity to win back the Intercontinental title, and Ziggler is now pondering where he goes from there. I mean, although he technically wasn't pinned, he still lost the match. And that segment got a 78B rating. Next segment, and a bout that had decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling, Baron Corbin defeated Kane in 11:46 by pinfall with an end of days. And Corbin Kane did not click. Corbin got an in-ring performance of 44, Kane 50, no worker improvements. The match got a 52D plus rating. It was just there for filler to get them on the card, get Baron Corbin a win because he's the younger guy and Kane is on the decline, so try to get some heat onto Corbin. Next segment, we see Seth Rollins walking backstage, and then he runs into Triple H. And Seth smiles. He's like, "Hey, Hunter, glad you showed up. After our talk on Monday, I wasn't sure if you were going to actually show up, but you did. So yeah, if you remember, Seth was on the phone to someone on Raw on Monday, and it turned out it was Triple H. And Seth is like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you watched, anything the last, month or so, but these 5 guys, They've been causing chaos, been making my life miserable, and I've got a match with Ambrose and Reigns against, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Ryback. But they also had Damian Sandow and Bad News Barrett watching their backs, and they could, interfere in the match at any time. So, it would be great if, could watch my back for me and make sure, they keep their noses where they don't belong. And Triple H is like, Seth, I have seen what's been going on, and that's why I'm here. And believe me, Seth, tonight I am going to make things right. Then Seth, cackles and he hugs Triple H. He's like, well, hopefully this works, and I'll see you later, okay? And Seth walks away, and Triple H is like, alright, Seth, see ya. So yeah, Seth is getting Triple H to watch his back, and I guess also, to watch Roman and Dean's back by proxy since he is teaming with them tonight. That segment got a 75B minus rating. In a poor match, the New Day defeated Sawyer Fulton and Cassius Ohno in 10:22, when Big E defeated Sawyer Fulton by pinfall with a big ending. During the match, we also had Kofi Kingston run in and attack Fulton. The New Day make defense number 3 of their WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. So yeah, basically, as stated before, Kofi was there in a neutral corner. The finish had Prince Nana, being distracting the referee, and Kofi Kingston slides into the ring, and he looks, Woods and Ono were on the outside fighting, and Big E and Fulton are inside the ring, and Kofi slides in, and he looks at Big E, he looks at Fulton, and he smiles at Fulton and stands side by side with Fulton. And Big E kind of looks like, oh man, I can't believe this is happening. Then all of a sudden, Kofi Kingston hits Fulton with the Trouble in Paradise. And this allows Big E to get the big ending on Fulton and in time for the ref to come in and make the 3 count. So yeah, Kofi Kingston made his choice, and he's staying with his friends, staying a part of the New Day. Ono had an in-ring performance of 53, Fulton 27, Woods 60, and Big E 64. No worker improvements. The match got a 57C minus rating. So yeah, what do you think of Kofi Kingston staying with the New Day? He turned down, obviously, the very lucrative offer of Prince Nana and becoming the crown jewel of the embassy. And he's basically staying with the New Day, and he had basically picked fun and staying with his friends over the lure of a lot of money and title opportunities. And then we get the New Day basically celebrating in the ring, and they're all like twerking and, celebrating overboard celebration. And Prince Nana's at ringside, just like basically pissed off because, Kofi spurned him, and Kofi just like basically is twerking in Prince Nana's face, saying, "Ha, look at me, I turned you down. You're stuck without a crown jewel. What are you gonna do, huh?" So that segment got a 69C plus rating. No worker improvements. Next segment, in a decent match, Braun Strowman defeated the Big Show in 10:43 by pinfall with a running power slam. Strowman had an in-ring performance of 43. The Big Show had an in-ring performance of 67. The match got a 62C rating. No worker improvements. So yeah, it's just, getting Braun Strowman over as the next big monster. much like in real life. In a decent match, Rusev defeated Cesaro and Sheamus in 1959, when Rusev defeated Sheamus by pinfall with a Machka kick, and Rusev makes defense number 3 of his WWE United States title. Cesaro had an in-ring performance of 67, Sheamus 75, and Rusev 69. And Sheamus is improving in performance skills. The match got a 78B rating, which I believe is the best rating, match rating we've had as of yet in this save. So good job. All, well, two-thirds of this match, former League of Nations stablemates. Yeah, so we had someone from Switzerland, someone from Ireland, and someone from Bulgaria fighting for the United States Championship. In a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, defeated Enzo and Cass in 12:07 when Bray Wyatt defeated Enzo Amore by pinfall with a Sister Abigail. Cass had an in-ring performance of 45, Enzo 49, Luke Harper 57, and Bray Wyatt 73. Match got a 63C rating. So yeah, just another little filler match to get them on the show and get Bray and Luke a win. In a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, AJ Styles defeated the Club in 11:44 when AJ Styles defeated Carl Anderson by pinfall with a top rope Styles Clash. Which I probably would have went with the phenomenal forearm, but whatever. AJ Styles had an in-ring performance of 72, Carl Anderson 56, and Luke Gallows 51. No worker improvements. The match got a 68C+ rating. Next match, in a bout that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Charlotte defeated Becky Lynch in 10:25 by pinfall while using the ropes for leverage. Charlotte makes defense number 2 of her WWE Raw Women's title. Becky Lynch had an in-ring performance of 60, Charlotte 53. No worker improvements. The match got a 60C rating, so not bad for the women. And then it's one of our 3 main events, which this is probably the most promoted main event, but it's going third to last in this case. So let's just say the Forgotten already came out in the ring, and then we're waiting for the Shield, and then you hear the familiar Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta Shield, and then the music hits, and we wait. The camera is panning around the crowd for, expecting them to show up from the crowd like the good old days, but no one comes out. The music's playing, but no one is coming out into the crowd or on the ramp or anything like that, and after a minute or so, the music stops. And the crowd is buzzing, wondering what's going on. And then Cody, Drew, and Ryback are in the ring laughing, thinking they've chickened out or something. And then all of a sudden, Dean Ambrose's music hits, and Dean Ambrose comes out by himself and comes into the ring, with a serious look on his face. And then Roman's music hits, and he comes out by himself, and he's looking serious as well. And they're both in the ring, and they're waiting for Seth Rollins, and his music hits, and his music begins to play. And it plays for a minute or so, but Seth Rollins doesn't come out to the ring. And Dean's kind of like yelling at Roman. He's like, I told you he was going to stab us in the back. I knew that slime ball Seth Rollins was going to stab us in the back again. And then Roman's like shaking his head, like kind of disappointing because he was, in the back of his mind hoping that Seth would really show up and, fight by their side. But he too thinks, Seth, is basically ditching them, leaving them high and dry. So even though Seth's music is playing, he doesn't come out, and then it stops, and the crowd starts to boo. And Dean's like, forget it. We can beat these guys 3-on-2. But then we see a video on the Titantron. We see backstage footage of a bunch of paramedics and officials crowding around a body that's laid out in the backstage area. Come to find out that it's actually Seth Rollins who is laid out in the backstage area. Looks like someone jumped him and basically took him out. So yeah, who attacked him? Was it one person? Was it multiple people? Did Barrett and Sandow jump Seth before his match to, put Roman and Dean at a disadvantage and cause more cease of dissent between the already dysfunctional trio? So the match begins with it being a 3-on-2 handicap match, basically. So in a decent match, Ryback, Cody Rhodes, and Drew McIntyre defeated Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in 2109 when Cody Rhodes defeated Seth Rollins by pinfall with a crossroads following a turn by Triple H. So this is the way I envision this. So Roman and Dean are going at it by themselves, and after a while, they're faring pretty well. After a while, Barrett and Sandow come out, and it gets to the point where Roman and Dean are basically overwhelmed. Roman is taken out on the outside. Dean is left in the ring by himself, and both Dean and Cody are like knocked out, like they got hit with the double clothesline, and then Seth Rollins' music hits, and out comes Seth Rollins with, his ribs are taped up, he's walking with a limp, like he's obviously whoever attacked him did a number on him, but he's toughing it out. He's coming out to try and save the day. He gets up on the ring apron and he sticks his hand out, hoping Dean tags him in. Dean finally gets up and he looks over and sees Seth there. And then, instead of tagging Seth, Dean just goes right back to trying to, do it by himself, basically. Because, Dean thinks that Seth is just going to, stab him in the back again. So he's not going to trust him. He's not going to tag him in and basically allow Seth to cost him the match. Well, what happens next is Cody knocks Dean backwards into his corner, and then Seth tags himself in, and Seth comes in and, starts fighting with Cody. And it gets to the point where both of them are out, and Sandow, Ambrose, basically everyone else except Seth and Cody are on the outside, knocked out, except for Sandow and Barrett. And this brings out Triple H. Triple H's music hits, and he comes out. He takes off his jacket and his tie, and he comes to the ring. He decks Barrett, he decks Sandow, and he gets into the ring. And he he looks down at Seth and he extends his hand up, and Seth grabs it and Triple H pulls him up. And if you remember when Triple H betrayed Seth Rollins in that Universal title match around the same time in 2016, you know, it's sort of like the same way. Triple H and Seth go up to Cody, and then Triple H turns around, kicks Seth, and pedigrees Seth, and Michael Cole and JBL are like, "Oh my God, what the heck just happened? Triple H just pedigreed Seth Rollins," and Cody is in shock, and Triple H goes over to Cody and like basically pulls him over and drapes him over, Seth's body. And then Triple H goes out and picks up the ref who is out and outside the ring and throws him back in the ring, and this allows the referee to count the pinfall on Seth Rollins. So Ryback, Cody Rhodes, and Drew McIntyre still, and also Barrett and Sandow, will remain employed by the WWE, and in the future they will get a championship opportunity, more than likely at either the Universal or the WWE Championship at a later date. And it also means that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins cannot compete for the Universal or WWE Championship for the rest of the year. And we're going to go ahead and turn Seth Rollins babyface. He has now switched to a show stealer cool gimmick and has got an initial grading of 8, and the turn was a complete success. So Drew McIntyre had an in-ring performance of 49, Cody Rhodes 57, Ryback 61, Seth Rollins 78, Roman Reigns 77, and Dean Ambrose 74. No worker improvements. The match got a 63C rating, basically because of the Forgotten's ratings being so low right now, because we're still trying to build them up. And next segment, in a good match, Brock Lesnar defeated Sami Zayn in 1939 by submission with a Kimura. During the match, we also had Kevin Owens run in and attack Lesnar. So basically, this is how I envision the match to go. So before when the bell rings, Brock is in the corner, kind of, getting some instruction from Paul Heyman. And Brock turns around right into a haluva kick from Sami Zayn. This doesn't knock Lesnar down to the ground, but he kind of staggers into the next corner. And this allows Sami to give Lesnar another haluva kick into the second turnbuckle. And Lesnar still staggers around, goes to the third buckle, same thing. Sami haluva kicks Lesnar, the third turnbuckle. And then finally the fourth turnbuckle, same thing. Lesnar staggers into it, haluva kick. And on the fourth one, the fourth turnbuckle, the fourth haluva kick, Lesnar finally goes down. Sami attempts to pin, but Lesnar kicks out at 2.5. And from there, Lesnar manages to catch up to Sami, starts suplexing him, normal Brock Lesnar fare, but Sami kicks out, and then Lesnar goes for the F5, but Sami counters, slips out of the F5 and counters into the Blue Thunder Bomb, and Lesnar kicks out at 2 there. The referee gets knocked out inadvertently at one point. This brings in, Kevin Owens and gives Lesnar a pop-up powerbomb and drags Sami over Lesnar's body. Kevin throws the referee back in the ring, but Brock kicks out at 2.5 again. And after, Sami realizes what's going on, and Sami yells at Kevin to go back. He doesn't need his help, and this allows Brock Lesnar to catch him and put an F5 on him and pin him. So the way I have it, Sammy didn't tap out. He just got beat by an F5. And if we want to be real, it's because he was being distracted by Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens was coming out and trying to help Sammy, even though Sammy didn't want or need the help. So Sammy and Brock didn't seem to click, which was unfortunate. Sami Zayn had an in-ring performance of 69, Brock Lesnar 83. And Brock Lesnar's improving in technical skills. The match got a 74 B- rating. And in the main event, in a decent match, John Cena defeated Finn Balor in 2010 by pinfall with an attitude adjustment. John Cena wins the WWE Universal title. Finn Balor had an in-ring performance of 59, John Cena 82. And Finn Balor is improving in performance skills. The match got a 73 B- rating. So yeah, as much as I wanted to put the belt on, or I'm sorry, not belt, title or championship on Finn Balor, John Cena would not have it. No matter what I did, John Cena would invoke his creative control clause and ixnayed Finn Balor winning. So yeah, I had no choice but to put the Universal Championship on John Cena. But hey, I'll make do with it. The match got a 73 B- rating, no worker improvements. And then we end the show with John Cena and Finn Balor shaking hands. Cena giving Balor props, and then the show closes with Cena celebrating with the Universal Championship. And that segment got a 74 B- rating. And we end the show. The show got a 73 B- rating. It lost its popularity in 29 regions, which not a bad show. Let's see who I want to make speeches out to. I'm going to actually give speech. I'm going to praise the guys in the US title match because that was the best match on the card. So Rusev, Sheamus, and Cesaro complimented on a good performance. Rusev seemed pleased. Sheamus seemed pleased. And Cesaro seemed pleased. So yeah, if you liked the episode, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. What do you think of the show? What do you think of the angles that went down? And that'll do it for this episode. Until the next time, peace.